We'll take first question on the right side on the aisle. Go ahead.
Yeah, Jeff Ferrato of the Bay Area News Group. Coach, a couple things. One is, can you talk about your impressions of what Mike Brown has done in a potentially awkward situation as an acting head coach in the playoffs? And also, what's it mean for you guys to have J.R. Smith? You didn't have him in the 2 regular season matchups, but he played so well in your wins in the final series last year.
Just happy for Mike Brown. You know, I've known him for a long time and been good friends, even though he's older than I am. But just happy to see him, you know, have a chance and opportunity to coach a great team. And with that being said, you know, talked to Steve Kerr today, just hoping, you know, wishing him a speedy recovery because that's the most important thing. But I think with Mike Brown stepping in and doing what he's done has been unbelievable. I mean, you know, a hostile situation, you know, a lot of pressure, you know, having to win and to step in and go undefeated, you know, in the playoffs is great. And it's great for him. And hopefully, you know, whatever happens with, you know, Coach Kerr's situation, that this opens up the eyes to other people and other teams about Mike Brown and what a great job that he can do. As far as JR, it's just always great to have him back. You know, he's a tough shot maker. Defensively, he's great for us. And then when he's making shots, you know, we're a tough team to beat. So, you know, like you said about JR last year, you know, in the finals, you know, making those 8 straight points in that third quarter to really, you know, help us get back in the game and some big momentum play. So it's great to have him back.
Next question on the third row over there.
Sorry. Coach, Davide Chinellato, Gazzetta Italy. What do you think changed for you during the playoffs in terms that you evolved from a team that has some struggle at the end of the regular season into, you know, a 12-1 team that is going to the NBA Finals?
I think for us, our biggest jump was defensively. I think defensively really locked in and had a chance to put some defensive schemes in and take away what we wanted to take away from, you know, all these good teams. So I think, you know, you got to give the guys credit. You know, they really locked in and they understand and understood and followed the game plan tremendously. So I think for us, you know, we're scoring the basketball well, shooting the basketball well, but the biggest jump for us, I think, has been defensively.
What do you think is going to take you to win Game 1 of this series?
Well, you know, we got to come in with a defensive mindset, and I think our best defense is going to be our offense. And saying that, meaning we can't turn the basketball over. You know, we have to take good shots. We have to have great floor balance because this team is dangerous in transition. You know, they are the best in transition. They can beat you in a lot of different ways. You know, Durant's dunks, Clay and Steph's three. So we got to do a good job of just taking care of the basketball and playing good offense.
Greg Logan of Newsday in New York. Coach, you have a really deep bench with a lot of great three-point shooters, 3 guys over 40%, very productive. Can they play a major role in this series, or does it come down to the 2 groups of superstars and who wants it the most?
I think everyone has to play well. You know, you get to this point, I don't think you can just pick and choose 1 or 2 guys. I think everyone has to play well. But with our shooters that we have on the bench that's shooting over 40%, you know, if they're great, you know, and they have to respect those guys on the three-point line, then that opens up driving lanes for Kyrie and LeBron and Kevin, you know, to post up. So I think if they're shooting the basketball well, it definitely helps us out.
And also the one other thing, you mentioned how key defense has been to elevating your play, but also when you look back at the blowout loss here to the Warriors, was that any sort of wake-up call to this team about, you know, how much they had to improve, you know, to be ready for this?
Well, that was a bad game for us, and they really kicked our butt. And we didn't come in with the right mindset. I thought defensively, just overall, we didn't come in with the right mindset of, you know, this team was, you know, we beat them on Christmas Day, so they were waiting for us, and they were, you know, trying to get some get back, and they came out to prove a point, and they did. So seeing that game, and guys understand that Game 1 tomorrow, if we're not ready to play, if our minds are not right, you know, the same thing could happen. So I think, you know, turning that page, I think guys are locked in and focused now, and they understand where we're at as a team, the way we've been playing in the playoffs, and we understand it's a dangerous team we're playing across the room. So our guys will be ready.
Third row in the center.
Ty, Chris Fedor, Cleveland.com. Throughout the postseason, you've talked about how you use your own definition of success on defense, and sometimes it goes beyond numbers. So playing against a team like Golden State with all their offensive weapons that you've talked about, what do you consider a successful defensive night?
with these guys, I think they're going to score. You know, we know that, and they have a lot of guys that can score the basketball. They're going to make some tough shots that most guys are not gonna make. So we understand that, but you know, my biggest thing is not beating ourselves. You know, not turning the basketball over, not taking bad shots, defensively understanding what we're doing. So we know they're going to score the basketball. We got to take the easy baskets away from them.
Tanya over here.
Tanya Ganguly, LA Times. I'm going to take you back in 2001 to the first game of that finals. Your defense on Iverson was a big part of why that game was close at the end. And so I'm just wondering, what are your recollections of that game in particular? And when he stepped over you, what was your reaction to that? It became a big deal elsewhere. Was it to you?
It wasn't a big deal to me at the time, but if I knew it was going to be a big deal across the world and across the media world, I would have picked him up when he stepped over me. You know, but just defensively, just coming in trying to change the dynamics of the game. Iverson, who was probably one of the most feared guys in the league back when I played, when he was in the league, and you know, he had 36 points, I think, midway through the third quarter. So he was on route to have 65, 70 points. So I just wanted to give us a lift defensively, and actually I didn't do the coverages that we were supposed to do. I got in trouble with Phil after the game, but he said whatever you was doing, continue to do it. But I just tried to deny him the basketball, make it tough, be physical with him, and try to take it away, not make it as easy as it was for him, before I got in the game. So, sometimes you got to go off sheet, to change some things. And after that one game, it was kind of effective, and Phil just said, okay, whatever you was doing, you continue to do that, and the other guys are built around it. So we got to have that same mindset with this team we're playing tomorrow.
Just a quick follow-up. Do you feel like that game or that series raised your profile?
Oh, it definitely helped me out. Being a free agent after that year and having a chance to play against Allen Iverson, who, it was crazy that he's only a couple years older than me, but I looked up to him as far as who he was as a player, his size, being 6 foot, his heart and tenacity. So as a young player, I looked up to him, and having a chance and opportunity to play against him, NBA Finals, and doing a decent job, defensively, it really helped my career out.
Dave and Tim, last two questions.
Dave McMenamin, ESPN. Ty, when you coached Kyrie going into this series and assessed the matchup with Steph Curry, do you let him loose and say, make this a one-on-one thing, relish the challenge, take him on both sides of the ball, or do you have to go away from that, or just how do you kind of coach that matchup?
Well, Kyrie's an assassin, offensively. He can score in a lot of different ways, and, we want him to be aggressive. And the way this team plays defense with all their switching and, things like that, we have to take advantage of matchups. And if they're going to switch different guys on to Kyrie, then he has to be great one-on-one. And I feel good about that he can. So he has a green light to, play offensively, be aggressive, making the right play. So the matchup's not about, Kyrie and Steph. It's about the team. But, when he has certain matchups, he definitely has to be aggressive.
Tim, last question.
So there's obviously this is the first time that there have been two teams playing 3 years in a row. A lot of big names here, a lot of, potential historical ramifications of this. Do you ever take time to think about kind of the special moment this is for you guys that have been a part of it, or is there too much going on for you to really think about kind of the uniqueness of this whole situation?
No, I mean, it's definitely unique, and it's nothing you can take for granted. Even though, we have the best player in the world on our team, you still can't take it for granted. Health plays a part. A lot of things play a part in this. So, going to the finals 3 straight years, you have to enjoy it. You have to relish the moment. And but now that we're here, we have business to take care of. But, I mean, it's something you can't take for granted. You have guys who's been in the league, Kyle Korver and Darren Williams and those guys who've never even been to the finals. So it's something you can't take for granted, and you got to take advantage of every opportunity.
Thank you, Coach.